Well, good morning, it's 10 to 5 on a Thursday morning. I have a road trip ahead of me of 3 to 4 hours. There is a reason for getting up, as you will find out in a few hours time. Let's get going. Storm Goretti has arrived in the UK, and this is what I'm facing on the way down to Copart to pick up the next project. It's not the best conditions and probably going to get worse as we get further into the Midlands. We're heading down towards Frome in Somerset, so we've got 2.5 hours left of this journey. Let's see if we can make it. We are arriving at Copart. So the car's on the trailer. I've strapped it down. Been in there about 10 minutes at the most. About 3 to 4 hour journey home, and then I'll reveal what I've bought. I have just bought not one, but 2 non-running cars from Copart. They're now back at home. Let me show you what I got. So this is the first buy. This is a 2007 Mini Cooper S. It's all in black. It's got a nice leather trim inside. There doesn't seem to be any rips in the upholstery. It's a little bit mucky, as you'd expect. Comes with heated seats, aircon, cruise control, all the normal stuff. What I do know about this is it's roughly done 46,000 miles. But it was described on Copart as a non-runner. Now, I did pick this up quite cheap, and I have worked on a Mini before. Obviously, you've seen the blue one on the channel, and I do find them easy to work with. And as I have limited experience, because basically I'm a bolt-off, bolt-on guy. I can do brakes, I can do anything that needs replacing. But as for the fact of buying a non-runner and trying to get it running, this is a whole new thing to me. So I did try and start this. It did make a strange noise. And since then I have taken the battery off. Taken the battery off. We charged that up and I haven't tried to start it again. However, when I checked the dipstick for the oil, I noticed that it was quite low. This one was quite low. The coolant is very high. So I had a look inside here. And as I was looking, I thought, and as I opened this up to top it up with oil, I noticed those. Now, I think they are called cam followers. I'm not entirely sure. And they are not where they are supposed to be. So, what I did next was shut the bonnet and forget about it. So that is now on the back burners. Let me show you the car that I was really interested in at Copart. And here it is. So this is a 2010 John Cooper Works. So out of the factory, 208, 210 standard horsepower, 4-cylinder, 6-speed. But as you can see, as cars do when they're left at Copart. And it's not their fault, I'm not saying it is, but things get a little bit mucky, a little bit damp. We see mould appearing in places. It's just because the car's damp. Those seats are wet. But again, it doesn't look in bad condition. Again, this was described as a non-runner, but it is a category U. However, it doesn't run. Again, battery was flat. I've tested it. The battery was actually faulty, so that's gone. I have just been and picked up a new battery and some fuel because this has nothing in it. So we will put some fuel in it, turn it over and see what sounds we make, because I have no idea why it's a non-runner. They obviously couldn't get it going at Copart. So we will put some fuel in, we will stick the battery on, and we'll see what happens from there. Well, this will at least alleviate the flat battery problem, get us some power into the car, and then we go from there. So I've only just bought a new battery for this because the one that I took off it was completely dead. In fact, it came up as faulty on the battery charger. So let's go with key in. Okay, we have some kind of power. Press the start button. Okay. Warning signs have gone out. Alright, just checking the electrics and everything. Lights seem to work. Oh, that indicator's not working. Oh. Working there. Working there. Side repeater works on this side. Okay. Right, before I go ahead and try and crank this, now it's at this point that any skilled mechanic might have an idea of what's going on with this engine. As for me, I'm in the dark. It may have a coolant leak because I topped this up last night and I have lost a bit. Now, as I'd lost a bit of coolant overnight, I topped that up and then checked the dipstick with the oil, which I noticed was a little bit over maximum. Let's see what it'll do. Let me turn it over. Okay. Right, well it turned. So that's not a bad thing. Maybe one more go. Okay, we've got no spark, it seems. Okay, so where do we go from here then? So we have a crank but no start. So with the engine turning but not firing, I thought it'd be good to have a look at the spark plugs. So I took the coil packs off, whipped a couple of spark plugs out, And what was that? Now at this point it really dawned on me that turning that engine over maybe wasn't the best thing that I'd done. Right, so I've just taken 2 spark plugs out, and as you can see down there, that little mirror that looks like it's at the bottom of the spark plug, give it a shake, you can see that mirror moving around. I think I've just found the reason why this is a non-runner. Here, that looks like it has water where it shouldn't be. That's what it's supposed to look like, as opposed to that. Okay, so it looks like the John Cooper Works is a non-runner because it's either flood damaged in a way, or somehow water has got into that engine without further investigation, obviously, and you've just heard me turn it over. We don't know what's going on. So that looks like it's going to be a slightly bigger job than we'd hoped. However, everything's fixable, it's just a cost. So where we go from there, I'm not quite sure. So how it's got in there, I don't know. Right, so I have to work out a plan what to do next. Alright, all the bolts are out. I'll just get a trim tool. See if we can pry this up a little. So after pushing the car into the garage, I thought the next steps would be best to take the valve cover off. So I released all the bolts and we're just trying to jimmy that off now. Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. Okay. Tell me to get it out. So after taking the valve cover off, we can see we have a decent looking timing chain. There doesn't seem to be any movement in that, so that's a positive. However, the muck that is in that top chamber there's water in there, and there's water in there, and there's water in there. Can we see that? There's a shiny substance, yeah, just there. So something has failed. Now, it could be several things, I've just been reading. However, the main culprit could be the head gasket. And if it's the head gasket, that wouldn't be such a bad thing. It's just if we've done any further damage to the bottom end. Now, this is the furthest I've ever been in an engine. So I am stepping into the unknown, but I do want to get this car back on the road. Right, so I'm going to attempt
So we're going to drain the oil and I'm going to try and catch the first bits to see what's in it, because I think it's going to be a mixture of coolant and oil. I don't want that in there. Oh, as you can see straight away, that is coolant. Yeah, brilliant. So that is pure coolant. Which ain't a good look. It's not a good look at all. In fact, there's no oil in that. That is just coolant. That's very bad. So, well, that's not good. That's coming out the stump. See what else comes out the stump, shall we? Gonna be any oil? No, just a mixture of both. Jesus. Yeah, that's not good. Look at that. Pure coolant. Okay. So we've either got a head gasket that's gone, which could be the main culprit, but I won't know until I get that off how much damage it has done to the rest of the engine. It's not locked, it's not seized because I can turn it. That is one bonus. So at least we found the source of our coolant leak. So obviously, as I said, there's still water inside the pistons, and I thought, I was trying to rack my brains which way to get it out, but as you can see, it just came to me. A bolt of lightning. And we are using. So this is like an oil extractor. And I just hadn't even really thought about it before. There we go. It's working. Let's see if there's anything in the last one. As you can see, we have a lot of coolant in every piston. So for now, that's all I can do with the top part. I'm waiting for the timing toolkit to come tomorrow, so that I can at least lock that off, and then that can come off. But before then, there's a lot more that needs to come off. Probably just better taking the front end off, getting rid of the radiators, the intercooler, the turbo, the downpipe. Remove all sorts of stuff within here, all sorts of gubbins. Get myself down to a level where I can take this head off and then inspect further. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any advice, comments on what you've seen, of what it could be, please leave them in the comment section. But let's leave on a high, yeah? Timing chain looks cool. If you like watching this video, please hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, and see you next time.